Hey, travel fam. So, I know that I got the reputation of being a travel baddie. And yes, it's not for nothing because your girl been traveling internationally, and I want to give an insight into what my international and travel dating life has been like, because I know people are curious. And this is not to say that I haven't been in serious relationships. I have, and some of them have been international, most of them have been local. However, I've had a great time traveling and dating, and so I want to give you some insights into what that process has looked like, because it has been fun and interesting. Some stories kind of dangerous now that I tell other people and look back at them, and I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of insight because it's just been a great time, and it's just kind of like a great plot. So, I've been traveling internationally since I was 17. And actually, when I was 17, that was my first time traveling internationally. And it was with my friends who are also 17 and without any adult supervision. So, what'd you think was happening? Just think. So, just to set a little bit of the context, my parents had joined with my three other best friend parents in sending us to an all-inclusive resort style trip to the Bahamas, Nassau Beach in particular. For my parents, the reason why they wanted to congratulate me and send me off with such a big hoorah was because of the fact that I was the first person and girl in my generation to be accepted to and go straight to a university after high school. So they were above the moon, super proud, super excited, and just wanted to show out. As a 17-year-old, I was like, hell yeah, let's go. And I was going with the homies, and there was going to be no adult supervision. I don't know why that sounded like a good idea to them, because as an adult myself that works with young people, I don't think I would do that. And if I were to do that for my child, I would probably go too, or have just more supervision. But there it is. That sets the scene of the context for my first international trip. Mind you, this was a little bit of a different time. I, for instance, didn't even have a passport. I don't even think I had an ID. I think I had a license. I think I did have a license. So I think what I had to bring was my birth certificate and then my license. Because I had my license since I was 16, because I was like one of those, you know, get ahead of the crowd, just like super goody two shoes. I just wanted to have my freedom, basically. So I had my license as soon as I could. The setup is that it's going to be a 7-day all-inclusive activities. You can do different activities with them, but for the most part, it was one of those high school national organizations that goes to different high schools and sells different packages for high school students. So it wasn't necessarily through my school. It was a lot of different high schoolers though. So we go, and the very first day, we're walking on the beach, and this guy, Dario, and Dario, if you're out there, let me just tell you, you changed my life, buddy. Like, you changed my life. I hope that everything worked out for you. And so we meet Dario, who is this beautiful Bahamian man who is working at the resort that we're staying at. He's hosting some of the sports, like water activities, and we meet, we exchange numbers, we tell them that we're staying here, so, you know, we lock it down for later. And then we go out. I don't even remember that first night, to be honest. It was a blur. Because one of the first things that we did was go and get a bottle of 151, which, thinking back, I'm like, how did we even get that? But also it was the Bahamas, and I think you only had to be 18, but then it was like, nah. So we got a bottle of 151 just so we could have for the house. And then whenever it was we had this wristband that was all inclusive. So there was a couple of different areas throughout the island that we could go to, like Senor Frogs and other like Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday, places like that there was a lot of tourists and Americans like on the strip. And then we would just get free entry, and then we would get drinks. And then I think that there was also some kind of arrangement where at certain times in the morning, afternoon, and evening, we would also get food as part of our inclusive package. So we were just going out, you know. We went out and we would go to like Senor Frogs. We would go to different places and just get drunk. And then we went on a boat cruise one of the nights, and that was where I met my second boo of the week. He was the bartender. There was 2 levels. He was the bartender, and then we were doing like a group activity with all the people on the boat, and they were asking for volunteers to get body shots taken off of you as a volunteer. So I volunteered, and so people were taking body shots off of me. I think I said something suggestive to him, and then yeah, that was that. And then I remember going to another place. I think I was in line maybe at the hotel or maybe somewhere local, and I met another guy. I think his name was Ollie. He looked mixedy. I kind of forget. And that was like my third boo that I kind of lined up for like later. So I think it was probably like the third night. Mind you, this is all day. All day, all day. Just pereo. Like all day. All day and night. So I remember the third or fourth day, Dario, the guy from the first day, the one who worked at the resort, was off, and he came over with his friends. We were all getting drunk, all the different things. I was 17. I think he was 24, and his friends were around that age. And so we got drunk, and then I was like, ladies, me and Dario need a little bit of time to ourselves. So that was that. And then the next couple of days was just really a blur. I do remember at one point getting super drunk, like super drunk, and meeting this guy. And then I was driving his car. And you know, like I said, I've been driving since I was 16. Your girl got bars. And I learned on a stick shift. And they drove stick shifts. And so I just remember being really drunk, driving his car, his stick shift, and then thinking, hey, how come all these people are driving on the wrong side of the road? They're getting really close. And then also thinking like, oh, snap, you driving on the wrong side of the road. And then I just remember like swerving over. Then I just remember being on the side of the road, and it was just me and him. And then one thing led to another. And then I was at home. It was really a blur of a trip. I will say though, that the most impactful thing, and I remember this to this day, this is why I say I'm so grateful for Dario, and I hope that he has found nothing but blessings and gratitude, long life, health, love, abundance throughout all this time. It was probably the last night we were there, and he asked me if I wanted to go and see the real side of the Bahamas. And this was also a time where there was kind of a lot of fear around traveling in the Caribbean, because there was this white girl who had gone missing. It was this Natalie girl that had gone missing in Aruba. And so me and my 3 girlfriends had promised that we were not going to leave each other. And mind you, this is going to really age me. This was before cell phones, or not before cell phones, but it was like when cell phones were kind of new, and it wasn't such a big cultural thing for young people to have phones. And so we didn't have phones. Like, we didn't have cell phones. You had to call the hotel and call the room to get in touch with us. So you had to tell someone you were going to be there at a certain point and actually be there, or take a message or try to reach them or whatever. So my friends were like, girl, what the hell? We were all like, what the hell? We're not going to go by ourselves. But Dario was really convincing and just very sweet and just very authentic and just very humble, you know? And so he offered me to take me around and show me the real side of the Bahamas. And I remember telling him like, no, are you going to kidnap me or like rape me or something? He was like, rape you? That's crazy. And then also kidnap you, girl. And I remember him directly. He told me, you got a fucked up head. You got a fucked up head to think I would do something to you like that. And he was like, well, are you going to kidnap me? And I'm like, well, no. So then I abandoned my friends, like totally forgot, and just left our girl code and went with him. And I will say that was the most impactful and humbling experience of my 17-year-old life. He took me around the different islands, showed me about some of the infrastructure or lack thereof, told me about how there was only 4 universities of all of the islands of the Bahamas, and it really gave me an introspective and perspective as a 17-year-old who had the privilege and the luxury as a 17-year-old to go to another country, party it up, do all the different things, all inclusive, and then get shit-faced, do whatever, and then go back home and then get back to my life. So I'm forever grateful, Dario. Like I said, if you're seeing this, I appreciate you. I always remember you forever. You're a real one. For real.